with
Starting up again.
Unfade. Rogue Trader continues. We are happily providing you background noise, character things, and sometimes random bullshit. Enjoy! I hope you're playing a game or probably not reading a book, because that'd be crazy and I'd be worried about you. But like, literally anything that doesn't require your eyes and hands to do, that we can just, be voices in the background to listen to.
Just to make
We're
the noise.
serving our purpose. I hope you enjoy. Now then, Lord Captain, we must continue going through the dialogue trees.
You're almost done. It's just Heinrich and just Jay.
Just the Inquisitor and the Pirate. I'm sure neither of those will have a bunch to talk about.
I'm sure
ignoring how verbose Jay is.
I'm sure the Inquisitor won't try to kill me, right?
Why would he?
He's a Psyker as well. So him knowing that I'm a Psyker doesn't matter.
That's strangely racist of you, sir.
That's not racist.
Isn't it?
That's judging people based on their abilities.
Is it an ability if it's born into you?
Yes, because it's something that can be trained and harnessed. So it's still
It's a
an
mutation.
ability.
But it's still a mutation. Like, people are racist with the X-Men. They're a race. It's a mutation.
But I have nothing against mutant.
And? Does that make them not a different thing? Listen, man, you're accrediting traits based upon the genetic makeup of somebody instead of any of their thoughts or actions. I feel that is inherently unfair.
Wait a second. What I was saying was I thought that Heinrich was going to send me away because he is an Inquisitor, not because he is a Psyker. I assumed because Psyker he would not.
No, you thought he'd give you a pass because you're both Psyker bros, right? Nah, that feels racist.
I felt it'd be weird for him to judge me for something that he also has going on with him.
No, I feel like it's less weird for him to judge you for it. Because he can call you on your shit.
Oh, right. So, I know nothing about you, Heinrich. Tell me about yourself. And please, don't be like what I think you are.
I'm usually the one interested in the pasts of those around me, not the reverse. I come from a night world, Guizorn 3. I belong to a branch of one of the noble houses until my exceptional abilities were discovered. After that, I was sent on a black ship to Holy Terra, where I was trained and I began my service for the glory of the Imperium.
People still visit Terra?
A lot of people live there, man.
I thought people didn't go back to Terra. Do you remember your home planet?
I do, but I have no ties to my homeworld now. None except my first name. I left Guizorn 3 when I was still a child. My family disowned me, stripping me of my family name. I was given a new one by those who trained me. Even for a noble, being branded a Psyker is a mark of eternal shame. I experienced that firsthand before I was put on the black ship.
Don't look at my smug face.
What do you mean your smug face? It sounds like he's dealt with a lot of discrimination for being a Psyker already. It doesn't say he has any qualms about other Psykers.
The mark of eternal shame. Shame for all eternity.
Fair enough. How did you discover your ability? I'm sure you didn't just wake up and someday be able to control his body from the inside out.
Like many Psykers unaware of their curse, I found out when a strong emotional reaction triggered an involuntary response. My great aunt had a pet grink. One day, it bit me. and I boiled it from inside out. And when my great aunt slapped me for what I'd done, I boiled her too.
Sounds like she deserved it. I don't know. What I'm more surprised by, the absurdity of your story, or the fact that you're capable of such a show.
You're calling a story absurd?
No. I expected a more dramatic story.
You boiled someone to death?
If I were to summon a demon or rain down fire
Yeah, he
on
did.
everyone's heads, we wouldn't be
How much
standing
more
here talking
drama do
right
you
now.
need?
I don't know.
I took the
People
life
come
of a
to
family member.
one after another.
In my opinion, that is more than enough drama.
He agrees with my statement.
Yeah. Tell me about the black ship.
Picture a
Not a good
vast
place.
prison ship filled with frightened, angry psychers who can't control their abilities and who have just lost their homes and their families. Some of them were children and adolescents like I was. Some were monstrous creatures who no longer had the right to be called human, or psychopaths who reveled in their impure powers.
Oh.
I feel like you're not gonna get let off easy because you're psycho, bros.
I've come to that conclusion. He might hate me more because I am a psyker.
Once, when one of the miscreants broke free, those in command simply depressurized the bay and got rid of the culprit, along with the prisoners and crew tainted by him. But even after that, I heard the echo of inhuman suffering and terror that filled that part of the ship. It grieves me to recall that episode to this day.
Heinrich is a deeper character than I thought he was.
What you think he was?
I don't know, I thought Inquisitor is Inquisitor. And boiled him down to that. You were sent to the Inquisition straight after training?
No. First, I was accorded the status of a psyker fit for service in the Imperial Guard, where I then spent several years. It was only afterward that I became an agent of the Golden Throne.
Okay. That's information enough. Let's talk about something else if you don't want to say anything more. How long have you served the Inquisition?
Since the day of my initiation as an acolyte. So, decades. How many real years it's been, it's hard to say. When I return from a journey through the warp, I often discover that much more or much less time has passed in real space.
The warp time. So it's like Sea of Stars.
They just kind of come out whenever they get to come out.
I see, that's how it is. Makes me wonder how Orpheus can do it.
They just go. And they think they'll be fine.
So they are fine.
Sometimes they crack a window. Gotta get that breeze in.
But yeah, space shuttle can be sitting for so long in that spaceship and be real stuck. You visited many... Those weren't words.
Blah, 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 blah.
You have visited many worlds during your service. I'll wait.
Indeed. I have visited many of the places brought to the Emperor's light, and those sullied by the filth of the archenemy. In truth, even after all these years spent visiting the various corners of the Imperium and looking beyond its borders, I still consider the Segmentum Solar to be the greatest of all humanity's bastions. Nothing compares. to the majesty of holy terror, the might of Mars, the grandeur of the segment's other worlds.
What duties have you been carrying out for the Inquisition? Inquisitor. I saw you torture a dude to death.
You can't really be expecting me to answer that question, can you?
The interrogator returns her look and smile. Yeah, that answers the question right there. For someone who's been in the service for decades, you certainly look young.
The first step for biomancers such as myself is to take control of the processes of their own body, including aging. I've endured innumerable hazards in my work. If I allowed every trace of them to remain, I would look completely different today.
You've been leveling him up. Is he the healer now?
I have not been leveling him up.
Huh?
I have not been
And
leveling
who
him up.
has?
James has.
Oh.
I did the last level up. But just the last level up.
Then I go to Kieva Gamma with low expectations.
Let's change the subject.
Gladly.
I must take my leave.
But there's so many other things.
There are.
You're looking at his levels.
I'm looking at his levels and see that he needs to level up.
There's so many levels to do.
Everybody needs to level up. Oh, wait, no, I have been leveling him up. He does indeed have Invigorate, so he can heal people.
Hooray. Not dying is good.
I also made him an arch-militant, but he doesn't really have a gun to use. Nor
Meh.
do I know how to use an arch-militant yet, so I'll go play with that later. I'll figure it out.
That's what I was gonna do with Argent that I forgot about.
To what do I owe this
Well.
visit?
Do you need time to go do something before?
Nah, I was just gonna toss something at her, but it's fine.
Go right ahead.
I can do it later.
Okay.
God damn it. That's
To what do I owe
yes.
this visit?
Go right ahead. I'll just sit here and wait for a second.
Cautiously touch his mouse.
I'm going to spend some time leveling up the characters I need.
I'm
leveling
done.
up. Okay, I won't.
Like I told you, it was quick. Ah, the warp ice. Get the flamers.
It comes in every time I leave. The level up. Yeah. Every time I leave the level up.
To what do I owe this visit?
I mean, I guess just living with ghostly whales and warp ice does make it more difficult for demons to be any effective creepy when that's just fucking every day.
I still have not seen anybody turn into a demon in this playthrough. In this playthrough. So,
So I take it you managed it on a different playthrough?
I forced it in this playthrough.
Fair enough.
I
What'd you get?
actively was using Idira, who's an unthinking psyker, to use all
What
of her
did you
psychic
get?
powers every time. I got a blue horde.
Ah, you got a boring. We got a
Yeah,
really boring
I got
one.
a really
Not even a pink, a blue one?
yeah.
Gross.
It wasn't anything, but it was something.
It's really bad whenever a plague bearer spawns in your back lines. Because then that's a tank where it shouldn't be.
I actively raised my spell degradation to as high as possible, and then used every single one of her psychic powers to try to
So
force it.
be careful about what you pick.
Here?
Yeah, I was reading. Because you have your take them away options.
Yeah, I saw I'm bored of Irlet and I'm bored of Kira. Which are 7 and 8. Or 6 and 7. So I was watching them. You're not the Inquisitor's only acolyte, correct?
Of course not. The Lord Inquisitor's entourage comprises dozens of people. The best of the best. Experts in various fields and disciplines. Some of them I know personally. Others I have never met. To be honest, I'm not even certain that the people I know are still alive. I used to work with other acolytes of the Lord Inquisitor, but in the Coronis Expanse, I have been working alone.
Ron? Words are words. I need the word better. Wandering among the stars without family or friends. Don't you get lonely?
I rarely have the time or the opportunity to think about it.
If you're an interrogator, does that mean that you hold a special position in the retinue?
We are not a retinue. We are acolytes. As for your question, I am closer than anyone else to the one I call my personal teacher. The Lord Inquisitor deemed me worthy of undertaking the most important and sensitive tasks requiring the attention of agents of the Golden Throne.
Are there any other acolytes in the Coronis Expanse? Right, you can't tell me that because it's secret. Let's talk about something else.
Such as?
How about the Cult of the Final Dawn? What can you tell me about it?
The cult's ordinary members are humans who have been corrupted by the archenemy, traitors to the Imperium, and accomplices of chaos. Participation in the cult's rituals always entails brainwashing, literally and figuratively. The longer cult members spend among other cultists, the less critically they think, and the more closely they resemble obedient livestock, stripped of their fear and instinct for self-preservation. The worst of them go to their deaths without an inkling of doubt, ready to take hundreds and thousands of souls with them.
Now that's the type of cult that I don't. That is not the Blood Bible.
As for those at the top
Well,
of the
similar.
cult's hierarchy, we have not yet managed to get a lead on all of the cult's leaders. I imagine that some of them are hiding in the depths of the Coronis Expanse. But those who are orchestrating the fanatics on nearby worlds are hiding very well indeed. Or receiving protection from above.
What do you mean protection from above?
Governors, commanders, rogue traders. History is full of those who neglect their duty to the Golden Throne and seek allies in the wrong places.
Remind me, what is your mission regarding the cult? If I ask too many different questions, will he just attack me? Or
No.
leave?
He knows when not to talk. You'll be fine.
Remind me, what's your mission regarding the cult?
I need to confirm the reports from my agents. According to them, one of the cult's leaders is in the Kiava Gamma segment, an industrial world within the dominion of the Von Valancius dynasty. I hope you won't impede my investigation.
Well, I have no intention of doing so. But you seem to have been investigating this cult for some time.
We discovered the first traces of it as soon as we arrived in the Coronis Expanse. Since then, the more we learn, the better we see just how far the roots of this blight extend. Destroying individual cells is pointless. We must cut this beast off at its head.
I thought about something
As
else.
you wish.
I heard that you're a psyker. What can you do?
The Lord Inquisitor was most insistent that I master the discipline of Santic Demonology. I use my faith and my power to crush the enemies of the Imperium. Servants of Chaos tremble at the sound of the Emperor's name, uttered by my lips. I am also a skilled biomancer. I can manipulate bodily processes. Sometimes I resort to those skills in the course of my work, when it is necessary to make the subject of an interrogation more cooperative.
Does he really hate his psychic powers that I almost said to leave my I must take my leave.
Get off my ship and take the Xenos with you. Pwah.
Nice talking to you, but I'm gonna go now, okay? Bye, Heinrich.
See, 20 minutes. He was very curt with his responses.
But Jay's not going to be.
You are correct.
Which is why I'm making a save now.
Just in case.
Just in case I get tired of it, start falling asleep, and press the wrong button. Where are you, Jay? You're here somewhere. That's you. That's you.
May the Exalted One protect you. Have you grown bored without our little talk, Shireen?
You don't look like the atypical smuggler.
No truer words have ever been said. I'm far more exciting than some small-time peddlers from Footfall. Allow me to introduce myself properly. I am Jai Amira Fatqin Tamiri Ash Ifrit, the 12th a distant world at the fringes of the Imperium.
Where'd that K come from?
The K in what? Was it green?
Fakreen. That's how she pronounced it. It looks like Fafreen, but it's Fakreen.
Must be.
I wouldn't have got that one.
I no. I got Ifrit and Jay.
Well, technically, it's Jai. But Jay sounds better.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip in the family's political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to become and which path to follow. When I learned the Exalted One watches over hundreds of other worlds amidst distant stars, I understood there was an entire world of opportunities beyond Ifrit. All I had to do was break the familial bonds tying me down and escape the planet. Which I did a long time ago.
Ifrit is the name of the planet. And I can't help but think about what their voice actors are doing now. Thank you for putting that thought in my head.
It gives more character.
It does. Why did you choose to come to the Karate thing?
The Keronis
That's a
Expanse.
long...
A gorgeous name, isn't it?
Hmm?
But this backwater wasn't
So
my
that's a
original
long text box.
destination when I
It is.
escaped Sherin. Oh no, it was the rumors of incredible freedom that brought me to the Keronis Expanse.
Without
Freedom that is generously bestowed upon
answer.
everyone who can survive in these parts. All doors are open here. You can become a saint, a mogul, a kingmaker, or anyone you like, really. Here, hard work pays off. Unless you're used to lying by the roadside and complaining instead of toiling for the good of your soul, glory, wallet, or whatever floats your boat. I'm used to working hard, and so I found my blessing.
What is that accent?
Both clipped and V instead of wet.
Yeah, that's what I caught up onto just now. But it doesn't sound like anything else German. How did you escape from Ifrit?
I convinced my father. I personally
Father.
used to oversee
Father.
the inspection of imported goods. I had to get experience so I wouldn't bring shame on our family, didn't I? I made friends with traders, missionaries, and soldiers
Daders.
at the port. I listened to their stories, studied the charts, learned what documents I had to forge to escape the planet. A kind word here, a shiny coin there. And here I am, in the iron belly of a ship, braving the void in search of a new life.
Is it the Irish accent?
Man, it's a something that be.
Judging by your implants, you've had quite a few close shaves over the years. I also just got scars on your eyebrow. You're also missing an arm.
Consider it a mark of my trade. This year, Xenos. Dumb-headed orcs. Who knew that we weren't the only ones to get tempted by the wreck of that raider? As for this treasure, I received it as a reward for a life that had been just a little too good. I was in a hurry to get to the Adeptus Amacacus after the Exalted One blessed me with immense wealth. I was 2 backstreets away from the den when a pathetic ashmag attacked me, envious of somebody else's fortune.
Oh, it's an implant.
Because she got her throat cut.
I thought that was just part of her clothes. But now that I
Then
look
she's
at it,
appropriately dressed.
her neck is just a bit too long. It seemed entirely natural. And I didn't see it before now, as I'm staring at it.
Then she is dressed appropriately. Because if you can camouflage your neck
But you've done a
being
good
made
job.
of steel, then you're doing pretty well.
I noticed the arm. The arm was not hard to miss, but the neck, which is in her main profile picture, just eluded me.
You are familiar with implants like the one that has replaced her neck. It is merely one part of a massive augmentation for replacing the internal organs. A slit throat could not have been the cause for installing such a sophisticated device. She's lying to you, sir.
I had a 50% chance of getting that. And I did it.
Well, you only needed to get to 20. And that's not the worst.
What do you mean I only get 20? I got a 20% food. 20 food.
Yeah. But, like, the thing wasn't all that. Listen, these things are determined weirdly.
Well, my skill value is 30. I got a modifier bonus of 20 for 50% chance total of 100. That's why your skill bonus being 100 means you always succeed, unless you have a negative something. Right? At least that's how I understand it.
They have secret roles, okay?
Yep. So thank you for sharing this. I know you're lying to me, but
All relationships are
Fine.
based on mutual
Oh,
trust.
oh.
That goes for business too.
All relationships are based on mutual trust.
yeah, okay. Okay. Tell me about your background again.
The youngest child is destined to become a bargaining chip
Oh,
in the
I need
family's
this.
political games. But I was unwilling to accept such a fate, and wanted to choose what to
Thank you
become.
for sharing this.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
I have seen enough of the shiny wrappings of the Corona expand. Tell me about its dark side.
The dark side is the real Coronis expanse, if you ask me. But what do you want to know about it, Shireen?
How do they do things on football?
Dynasty heirs drink with criminals. Rogue
Dynasty?
traders strike deals with the Casbalica, and dozens of ships stop off for a welcome break from a long voyage. Is there a more beautiful place in the entire Imperium? The Emperor is merciful to the meek and the powerful alike. There's a job for everyone as long as they have a head on their shoulders. And if you feel like talking to him in person, the statue of the Exalted One can be seen from any asteroid. You can pray to your heart's content.
They also have the thing where you replace D8 stuff there. D.
Uh-huh.
I don't think that both that and the W to B droids to the same accent. Either.
I do not remember if I was getting all these nuances to her voice whenever I was reading it out loud.
You weren't reading it. I was.
No, then I took it over.
Then you took it over at one point because he uses a lot of words.
It got to where it's like we need to make faster.
Yeah. Tell me about the Quebec.
It's nothing personal. It's just I'm faster.
I struggled on words and book stuff. Tell me about this mission, please.
The Kaspalika.
Astralica mission.
An ancient crime cartel that originated with the first settlers of the Calixis sector. It is run by shadowy
Settlers.
clans with robber barons at the helm. Cross their path, and you risk making enemies all over the Coronis expanse, or even the entire Imperium. As for the agents, they are just shameless, greedy scum. Every third person on Footfall is a Kaspalik.
Hard.
But that doesn't mean all that rotten filth is acting together. I've been set up more than once just so some Kaspalican can get one over on his rivals. And yet, the Kaspalica is generous to its customers, if you can afford it. Anything can be obtained, organized, and transported for the right price. The customer is always right, unless they happen to be a rat. In which case...
Oh, sound effect too. That little subset. That's unique.
Happens every now and then.
Forgive me, Shireen.
Not
I'm not
too
too
long.
fond of the ones I am forced to share the market with. Especially since they are nowhere near as good as me.
That was happening twice. Back to back. Are you one of Caspalica's robber baron? Whatever that means.
What gave you such an outrageous idea? Was it my immaculate garment? My gorgeous jewelry? Do not worry, Shireen. I will let you know once I become a baroness, should the Exalted One will it. Just imagine the strong and fruitful alliance that could be forged between a rogue trader and a mastermind of the Kaspalika.
How did you become a Caspalica agent?
It's not hard to do on Footfall. I spent a year working for good old Christo. He was a brave soldier who gave up the ghost in a scuffle with orcs, and then took over his business. Having a good head on your shoulders and keeping the Exalted One in your heart helps to establish new contacts quickly. Eventually, I gathered together a group of honest and loyal people, and it only took a few successful contracts for the Kaspalika to take notice. I quickly settled on Footfall and started dispensing my wisdom to my protégés and subordinates. I lost the taste for getting my hands dirty.
Tell me about the gold trade.
It really is simple, Shireen. The Kaspalika runs the Imperium's black market, offering special goods to those who can afford their services. Yes, I am talking about Xeno artifacts too. Alien weapons, technology, sometimes even certain kinds of living creatures.
Speaking of this, I noticed that I went back recently to Footfall and saw how the road trade, the Xenos that were on display were just put back up on display after we left and went back to the area.
They found more.
They found more. So
Sometimes you just gotta execute the theater worker.
at some point,
Circus
I'm
park.
going to go back so I can go execute the circus guy.
You can do that whenever you want.
I will do that at some point.
Unlike
I
the
do
rogue
not know when.
traders whose sacred warrants make them immune even from
Do
the
it right
laws
now.
of the Exalted One, Kaspalican agents are used to hiding and covering their tracks. Nobody
No, I
wants to
can't.
draw unwanted attention, no matter who might take an interest. Especially now that the Coronis Expanse has a warrior of the Golden Throne as its watchman.
But I got the whole Eurolet scene that's going to happen next time I go to work.
It's probably not very long.
Change this up.
Why not? The
Probably
decision
isn't
is
long.
yours, Shireen.
I just didn't know if it would go into like combat. Or
I
not.
don't think so. And even if it does,
Probably deal.
yeah.
Tell me about your business and the Coronas Coronis expands.
My trade means knowing the right people and non-people. Having the right connections and making sure the precious goods find their way into the hands of my no less precious customers. My wisdom includes the knowledge of the
Wisdom.
enemies of humankind, be they Xenos or the lowest scum in the Imperium, as well as the latest knowledge about how much they charge for any particular curio at the footfall market. Not even the most cunning Aji will deceive you as long as I am with you, Shireen. I promise you that. Whatever I have can be yours too, if your unfathomable wealth isn't enough for you already, I mean.
Do you do business with the enemies of humanity?
It has been known to happen. After years of dealing with Xenos, I've learned their customs, and even got a grasp of their language. Except they cringe whenever I start speaking, arrogant sods. They dislike even our voices, but they never turn away our valuables. Then again, I'm used to seeing sour faces. In this trade, the easily offended go out of business.
Then perhaps your knowledge will serve the Von Valentis Protectorate?
Protectorate.
Yes, that. Protectorate.
I have no doubt you will have to deal with Xenos sooner or later. When that time comes, Shireen, you will thank the Exalted One for sending me to stand at your side.
You seem to have many talents.
Thank you, Shireen. Being able to read and write is chief among them. You may not be aware, but this science is beyond the abilities of billions of the Imperium subjects. And yet they happily keep drudging along in their factories, fundy, and assembly lines. Me? I didn't escape Ifrit to consign myself to such misery. It was literacy that paved my path to copied orders, forged signatures, counterfeited papers. The wonderful things that make the wheels of bureaucracy turn in the right direction.
Are you really that rich? Which sounds like
What's
a
your profit
horrible thing
factor?
to ask a merchant like this.
What's your profit factor?
Compared to the rabble on footfall, perhaps. Compared to you. Be it power or money, I still have a long way to go. I could purchase one of Footfall's asteroids, but not a planet. I could subjugate a few gangs from the shady districts, but not Vladium. And so the answer to your question is no. I do not consider myself rich. I am not rich enough.
You could be sitting back reaping the fruits of your own work. So why have you chosen to embrace the vicissitudes of life aboard a void ship?
You're fun to talk. I grew tired of scribing endless contracts and agreements neatly tucked away on Footfall. I did that for how many years? But here, among the stars, you are always balanced on a knife edge. Nothing thrills me more than the tension of a warp jump, or the danger that lurks around every corner on a planet. Footfall was beginning to make me fat and stupid, Shireen. I do not want that.
She speaks measuredly, with just the right amount of laziness in her voice, but her performance cannot conceal the slight tremble in her voice. Whatever she's afraid of, that is what drove her off of Footfall.
What about your gang that stayed back at Footfall? Do
What was left of it.
you trust them?
Do I trust the Trickster twins? By the Exalted One, no. The underhanded rogues of Footfall came up with that name for a reason. The tricks of those frenzied ashmags are all about things far more intriguing than the honest and law-abiding subjects of the Imperium can imagine.
I've given up on trying to place this accent. It will bother me every time he says anything, but I've given up on trying to place.
On the other hand, this is why I am keeping them close. Kor and Tora know who lifted them out of the cesspit proudly called the Shadow Quarters, and who has been feeding that ravenous beast their insatiable lust for lucre. No, they are not going to betray me if only because they know I am now a part of your entourage, Shireen. They're not going to let the biggest pie in the Imperium pass them by without trying to get a slice for themselves.
Okay. Tell me about the Xenos and of the Corona.
Vicious, cruel, dangerous beasts. Humans hold little interest for Xenos. We are entertainment for them, a means to keep boredom at bay. A commodity. But some of them contact us once in a while using their own people. Do not deceive yourself by thinking you are safe because there are no Xenos inside. Those Agi are as cunning as they are ruthless. They cleverly pull at the strings of spies and traitors, subjugate those who do not fall for the promised reward, transform the ones who resist their promises into soulless puppets. The Emperor watches over me, and that is why I still haven't succumbed to the fate of many of my associates who have lost their lives to the stringy scoundrels.
I can't disagree.
Is what she was saying?
Uh-huh.
Can't say I do like. Let's talk about something else, so we can get your
I
dialogue
think we've
done
said
with.
all there is to say on this topic.
New thing at the top, but let's keep going.
Let's see how many more lies you will tell me. Did you know?
And will you pick up a third relationship?
There's only like so many of them. I can pick up all of them, get them started, and then decide when we get to chapter 3.
You can do whatever you want.
Did you know Theodora von Felicius, my predecessor?
It is difficult not to be aware of the powers that be, especially ones like Lord Captain Theodora. But we never met personally, as the difference between our positions
I can
was
pick up
far
a
too
third
great.
relationship.
Theodora
Was
was
that
a
line?
mighty ruler, the center
Yeah,
of her
that's
own
what I
universe,
said.
and I, a pathetic speck.
I thought you
with
meant in
nothing next to her.
eventuality. Eventually.
But you were kind to me,
No, it's right
Shelley,
there.
and in my eyes, that puts you above your esteemed aunt, or whoever she was to you.
And I've completely messed it up with Jocasta. Because I refuse
Well,
to...
that's just because you're not a fucking dickwad all the time. She likes to see you hurt people, sir.
Even if those people are herself.
Uh-huh.
And that's just... No. No. Argenta seems to have gotten under your skin, am I right?
Not her fault, she's better.
Argenta? What could be more beautiful than the sight of a sister of battle, whose mere presence casts light in the dark corners of lost souls such as mine? But alas, what remains of my sanity is telling me that poor Jai can only admire the radiance of this angel, forsaking any hope of ever touching her wings.
Sometimes she says something. I think, oh, she's from the Middle East. Like France. Then she says something else, like she's from Germany. Then something else.
Did you just say the Middle East and then say like France?
No, I said Middle East. Or like France.
Okay. Because that's not where France
No, no, it's not. I was making two comparisons in one statement.
Continue.
And then she said something that makes her sound like she's from Louisiana, using a fake version of... Never mind, I'm not going to comment on
Well, that's Creole. Like,
that.
that's French basis. But
It is French based.
I'm not gonna comment on what.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to call out the Cajuns, they're gonna come for you.
I live too close. I do not want to risk that.
Yeah. You're in, like, North Carolina.
That is too close for comfort.
Then the entire country's too close to the Cajuns.
Louisiana and Florida are like a 4-hour drive. At Florida. Too
I
close
mean,
for-
I guess there is an ocean. They could come for you in their fan boats.
You know how intimidating that would be? Just an army of fan boats,
Just weave.
a flag bearing your image. No. You keep using words I don't understand, like calling me Shireen. What is your accent from?
The language on Ifrit, my home world, is quite different from the one spoken in the Keronis expanse. We bestow more than one meaning upon each word, allowing our wise men to fully express their sagacious thoughts, and us lowly dabblers, our base passions and desires.
Okay.
Take Arik, for example. That is what I call every piece of scum and villain, because Arik means evil and foe and pathetic worm unworthy of consideration. Or take Ashmag. It means fool and little brother and blind man who stumbled and would fall into a pit without guidance. Shireen means friend and comrade and roommate in a battle formation, like we are.
You ever see What We Do in the Shadows? Like the series?
No.
You should. It's comical.
I feel like I might have heard of it before.
But just because they're the point of common knowledge, because I forced everybody to watch Garth Marenghi, Matt Berry is in that, and he was in Garth Marenghi as well, as like the Doctor Man. But his wife in that show, her accent and this accent, they're neighbors.
Okay.
They're not the same,
Close
but I can see it. You got a couple options here.
I can just say, hey, I'm not doing the romance option. Ignore that.
But you could. It's right there. She's ready.
Nah, I'll just ignore it.
She has not won your heart, Sherry. A shame.
Currently, I'm of the opinion that 90% of what she said has just been untruthful. Also, that Azhi, A-Z-H-I, is similar to, Cabela's word for something. That meant actually basically the same thing. Evil and foe, and they need to kill them. Because that's their victim. Just making a comment. I need to go back in the video to see what her actual word was, but oh well.
It would be the previous video.
Are you sure it wouldn't be 2 videos ago?
Yes, it'd be the previous video, because the previous video was Cabela.
So you're telling me all these tales about your colorful past, Jay. But I feel not all these stories are true. That is more than a slit throat worth of metal.
Shireen, the giver of happiness and the dearest of my friends. I am who I am. A cold trader, a Casbalican agent, and your partner. We each have a past, and that past is sealed. I'm not prying into your soul, am I? Well, have pity on mine. It has already been gnawed at by the Aji. And if you don't like the sound of that, we'll just go our separate ways. Deal?
Ah,
Offensive.
I see. That was unexpected.
You're not supposed to call me out for my stuff.
Okay.
All relationships are based on mutual trust. That goes for business too.
I feel like this is your 4th time saying that same line, and you don't trust me at all. But expecting to trust you. So I'll see you later.
Oh, I have no doubt you will.
So that's Jay, Pascal, Cabela, Idira, I believe.
Here, Argenta, Cassia.
Everyone, you did it. Now you mentioned there being a chance to get a gun in this place where we currently are. What the fuck you talking about?
Oh yes, the chance to get the gun that he wanted that in this place. It's on the jungle world. But because it's a jungle world, that's a everybody get together type thing.
Huh? No,
No?
not right now.
It looks like the thing is not currently on this jungle world.
Not even there.
It might be a different jungle world.
No, there's a few of those.
Oh, wait. I've already opened the smuggler's stash. That's where it was supposed to be.
Just wasn't there.
It just wasn't there.
Alright, let's do this now.
Go get that last, cutscene.
Oh, go to Janice. You got colony shit to do. And that's just as annoying.
Where's Janet?
Or Foulstone, sorry. Also, figure out which of the next projects you want to start.
Right, I do need to go to Palestine for that. Palestine is here in the Corabundus system. Right.
It looks like you can do both of Foulstone's things just off whatever, and whenever we end up traveling, you'll be able to do more stuff.
First, we got cut to
I would... Okay. The forces report your pet Aldari is in a foul mood. It is moving toward the captain's bridge. We didn't stop her, and I expect that you want to have a conversation.
Yeah. I knew this cutscene was coming, so travel was
I saw
meaningless.
orange, and I went, "Hurrah!"
We took a red path to get to where we were.
That doesn't mean that I'm not going to look at things and react accordingly.
I knew it would be fine. And it was fine. Just gotta deal with this conversation. And
Medina's not still in the game, is he?
Hmm?
I said Medina's not still in the game, is he?
I don't think so.
Like, just in case it does come to combat.
I can't
Please
check.
spare me a brief moment of your time, Elantak.
I'm going to assume no.
Okay, what do you want?
Asurion knows that I do not care about the curious glances of Monkey. I grew inured to them back in the blossoming gardens of the Lilithon. They curse me from afar.
Felt like a
They
curse.
follow my every move. They ward themselves against me. Let them. After all, what can be done with such weak-minded, primitive creatures?
It was an insult.
And still, one monkey stunt has caused the cup of my patience to spill over. She dared to approach me, to speak to me, and touching my hand, she suggested that we withdraw somewhere private. She wanted Morag. The mere memory of it stirs up a tempest in my soul.
Oh, this is how you start or don't start a relationship with Violet.
Hers is honestly weird, and I'm curious if you'll end up in it by happenstance.
Is that a possibility?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Oh.
You can accidentally yourself into it.
Well, we will see then, I suppose.
Yeah.
Were you truly so offended by it?
Try to imagine, Elantak, being lusted after by a wild beast. It is foul, disgusting, so vile that it makes your very soul shudder.
So she didn't like it. She didn't like it. No. Oh.
So many options.
So toss him out the airlock.
I can say so. I don't have to dance either. That's flirting that
Say
I
a
hate.
lot.
Fraternizing with Xenos? Nope, don't care. My people have behaved contemptibly. And I apologize for it. Yeah, I'm repelled by the Aldari. Which is no. I understand the incident was unpleasant for you, but it does not mean that all humans are animals. You're an exotic animal to my people. Get used to Or are you unwilling to become a wild animal or a docile?
Hey.
If you dislike how my people behave, try to spend your time somewhere more out of the way, or I shall speak with my subject, you will not be bothered again.
A couple of them are straightforward.
A couple of them are. I mean, 7 is straightforward. 1 is straightforward. Those are neither of the choices I would choose.
I more meant like 9 and 3.
Or 5.
That too. But that one's also like, but humans.
Mm-hmm. Those were
And
the
she really doesn't want to play with humans.
Those were the 3 that I was considering. Because I feel the need
Apologize
to.
for
I will
her.
apologize.
Say it won't happen again. But this one only appeared after the other one was done.
Yeah.
Which interests me.
It is interesting. But also, it feels like she's will be isolating herself, which is not something I want for her to do.
Her thing is meditation, man.
More than likely, I will get the chance to choose that option after I apologize. Because that seems to be the way it will appear. So I'm going to choose option 3, to apologize first.
Unknown. We shall see.
Shall see. My people have behaved contemptibly, and I apologize for it.
I accept your words, Elantok. And still,
That's not fair for humans.
So wild animal or docile pet. Ugh.
Some people would go for that, though.
Some people are real into that angle. I do not understand them.
Now between 4 and 8. I shall speak to my subject. You will not be bothered again. I'm assuming that's not what you chose.
I have a big pro-human bent to me, though.
That opens up the way for conversation.
This is more like, man, I get that it wasn't nice for you, but like, stop blaming all the humans. And the other one's just simply, you won't be bothered again, I'll take care of it.
You've done a fantastic job of convincing me to choose an option. Congrats.
So it's this one, right? The one you're hovering over?
Absolutely, yeah. No, I shall speak to my subject. You will not be bothered
Fucking
again.
yip yip, bro.
your words warm my soul. Very well. I will leave now. Do not forget your promise.
Feels too short. But then she's done.
Contact the Voxmaster? Nothing. Rumors?
Nothing. Yeah. That felt too short of an option to have chosen the right one.
That's all it was. It was quick.
Quick and simple. And all the stuff is to go to Janice. Not Janice.
Foul stuff.
Alice stuff.
And also Janice has also completed its thing. So like,
That's it.
that's a thing. Yeah.
I'll quickly just choose some.
There's shit happening on Janice. Bunch of mutations is bad.
Ah, let's see. not good.
The biologists you tasked with healing Janus have found it to be missing from the catalog and recommend studying it and eradicating it afterward.
Okay.
The Janus nobility humbly await your decision. When this is an option, it's almost always best to take it.
What do my advice is?
Generator, shall I just fucking go?
I saw your agent's recording. The signs these monkeys leave behind their idols, and I cannot deny a connection, though a pathetic and extremely abstract one, to the symbols of my people. Their guttural prayers echo the sounds of the children of Assyrian sheep. The probability of them having come into such close contact with our civilization is non-existent, yet they are still somehow connected. Protect these people, resettle them to distant abodes, where they will not be harmed for their peculiarity, and keep watch. Someday, the truth may be revealed.
The blessed sanction of the Imperium does not grace these mutants, but nor does it declare their existence anathema. Should we sentence them without further study? There are mutants whose existence is fully sanctioned, such as ogrins, ratlings, pariahs, pelagars, felinids, or troughs. Our library had many treatises on the generator's craft, and I could impart some of that knowledge to your servants. Purely theoretical, of course. The mutation has not been properly studied and is missing from the catalog. I am not registering a basis for delaying the commencement of immediate genetic purification. I recommend launching a thorough investigation into the genetic makeup of this forbidden strain.
Well, that's nice.
It changes it, and then you get shit.
Before it was minus complacency for the third option.
And it's normally better. These two will both grant you secrets of the mutated flesh, which will give you 10 Medicae. And then the other one gives you a...
I'm afraid to right click on these.
Ooh!
I don't want to do anything. But that Heart of the Nameless looks interesting.
Read it.
Oh!
Ooh.
Wait a second.
Yeah.
So I have a choice. I've already decided what I want to choose.
That's an ooh.
But that's unexpected. What do we know about these wretches?
Their mutations cause the loss of skin pigment and the shedding of hair. Some have started developing a translucent third eyelid similar to that of reptiles. Others have succumbed to progressive atrophy of the larynx, causing the loss of human speech. At the same time, their tendons become denser and more elastic, providing increased endurance and load resistance. The wretches are commonly ostracized due to their grotesque appearance. There haven't been too many cases of mob justice yet, but they'll become commonplace after the mutation's deformities become more obvious. The wretches tend to form groups of similarly afflicted people. Their average level of intellect is low, and they all belong to the labor caste and communicate amongst themselves using a primitive vernacular of their own invention.
Sound like not rat.
Bark, bark, bark. As for their barbaric religion, they are deifying both the soil and Janus itself. To them, working in agri complexes is a form of worship, which has had a positive impact on productivity.
What do you say the secret's mutated flesh was?
You get plus 10 Medicae. But if you get this, you get plus 10 everything.
Which is why I'm getting that. Hey, resettle the wretches into separate agricultural complexes where the child is not legal. I feel these monkeys have been touched by something wonderful.
As long as you have adherent iconoclast, I can only have follower, so I can't profit from that.
But I think I have adherent.
Maybe. That mutants got resettled. After put under surveillance, one of the watchmen spotted a mysterious relic in the hands of a group of wretches that turned out to be an item of Xeno origin. It's unlikely the mutants understood the nature of the object they worshipped.
Got a thing that increases strength, toughness, and agility for increasing intelligence, perception, and willpower.
Huh?
The stimulant. Got a stimulant.
Oh, okay. You got some drugs. The only problem with the gem that you just got is that it would replace your fireball thing.
I don't use the fireball.
Do you know?
Not
Where'd it go?
entirely dependent on. I have it on right now. I just don't use it.
No, I know where that is. I don't know where the new thing went. There it is. Oh, it replaces a ring slot. Shit.
Oh, that's even better.
It's a necklace design, but it doesn't go on the necklace slot.
I'm not going to use this needle ring, so I'll just put it there.
Look at that.
It's all the best.
I mean, you're good at awareness. You can't really fight me, but I am the skill monkey. It is all I do. It is all I am good at.
Good at awareness as compared to you,
You're not
right?
bad.
Yeah, you're only at 70. I'm 95.
Yeah.
But I can't fight you on anything else. Unless I take this other plus 10 to all skill.
But that one's mine. I will bite.
I'm not going to take it from...
Probably toss one of the other things at Janus, since now you can actually execute it.
I don't have the requirement. I don't have the requirement of it?
Press Y.
The only one I can do is the secret of the word ring.
Yeah, you'll get the other things eventually.
I can just say start on this one.
And this will actually give you access to chemicals, which is very useful and basically the only place to get chemicals from.
I have chemicals from somewhere. From Dean.
So it's already trying to start.
So,
It just doesn't lock off anything else yet. So you're good.
keep it. So look at foul stone. I need
Figure out which one you want to do, but we also have to physically travel there.
physical foul
That's
stone.
the most annoying part. But we're also there, so.
We were close enough that it didn't matter. Foul stone. Hi. What's going on over
Def Cult.
another death cult?
Def Cult. Def Cult. It's event, Def Cult. Red letters, Def Cult. Just so you know what it is. It's a Def Cult.
So hey, I want to deal with death cult.
Def cults flourish in the colony, driving its members and others to the brink of religious frenzy through bloody sacrifices and self-flagellation. News of their bloody deeds brings uncertainty and fear. We don't have weapons yet because we don't have Kiava Gamma. Oh,
Oh,
I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
I can't choose to do anything else. I have to let the cult go. I don't want to do that.
Where's our autosave? Nowhere near. Frack.
Well, all we did was go through dialogue. I can speed run through dialogue.
That is
237.
a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, it was. But, I can do that on my own time later. Just speed run through dialogue. And then call it.
Remember not to touch the Def Cult.
Don't touch the death cult. But I can go get that next. I need to go get that next.
Yeah.
So, for now, permit the cult. I don't want to do that. But permit the cult.
I mean, if we're gonna rewind time, just do it. It's not hard to skip in dialogue.
The last thing I have is a save that I made at 237 before going to talk. What's it?
I have in-game 2 days 1300. I don't know. Yeah, it's 237 as well. Same time.
I can't load a save.
326.
237. I can't load a save.
But I can.
Will you please do so?
Give it a minute. It's a little grumpy.
Yeah.
Why is it grumpy?
From that since a desync, I haven't been able to load anything, so
Oh.
which is why I
Let's
couldn't
just-
reconnect anything.
I want to fix this.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just... I'm black screening on my end and closing hard. Ah, shit.
Just restarting
well.
the game.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Make a save here. Despite not wanting to keep this save. Just see the can't. Did you just leave?
And the only reason... Yeah.
Huh.
I'm assuming that fixed it.
The moment you left, it fixed things.
I'm not surprised.
No, it didn't. I hit a button before.
Ah.
Yeah, everything's so broken. So I'll quickly shut everything down. Pause my recording.
Now they're starting to. Whatever you want to do.
Oh, I've already unpaused. So it's fine.
The thing is, though, we run that.
Yeah, that's why I unpaused. To see if anything would happen.
Random stuff in the warp. Look at that. We're caught up to where we were. Did you re-equip the amulet?
I re-equipped the amulet, and we did not go to Janus to go influence the death cult.
We're avoiding that until we have some shotguns we can disperse.
Yeah, I don't want one. A death cult in the first place, and that would be the second death cult. It's just all that.
Yeah. Something machine rights.
The tech priests want some.
We're
bullshit.
haunted, sir. Sorry to disturb you. The Lady Navigator has guided the ship out of the warp. But she has headed to your chambers. Perhaps you'll want to prepare for the meeting.
I have
The
another.
NPCs are acting rowdy.
I thought we got past all the dialogue.
They're acting rowdy.
But Cassia wants to talk again. I just talked to you for like 2 hours.
You didn't talk to her for 2 hours.
No, I talked to her for like an hour.
She did have her own dialogue to deal with, but she went through it rather quickly. You got both hers and Argenta's in the same episode. Unlike Kibele.
Unlike the Bella, who took a whole hour by herself. I could probably just label that the Bella's episode.
Greetings, Lord Captain. I meant to inform you that our journey through the warp went well. My navigator's gaze perceived the light of the Astronomicon beyond the tumultuous waves of the Sea of Souls, albeit with some difficulty. The crew and the master helmsman conducted themselves adequately. My instructions during the jump helped them find their focus and guide the ship without any serious incidents.
I never doubted your abilities as navigator, Lady Cassia. My crew is fortunate to have you.
It pleases me to hear this, Lord Captain. I am equally satisfied with your manner of command. I see you have many compelling works of art here, but precious few paintings. I, for one, do enjoy passing what little spare time I have with a brush in hand. Why, just recently I created a beautiful voidscape inspired by our travels together. I cannot show it to you quite yet, as it is still exists in my mind's eye. But the imagery... If only you could see.
I did take note of the unique elegance of your work back on Ep25. I am certain your latest piece will be just as breathtaking.
Thank you, Lord Captain. Your gratifying sincerity is wreathed in the light of a rising sun. If such is your wish, I shall show you my work when it is complete. One other thing I meant to tell you is that I am quite well read, and that my knowledge is not limited to the navigator's craft. I am versed in many other scholarly fields, such as the centenary history of the Galaxy sector, or... Navigators are taught to familiarize themselves with the warp from childhood. Should you require my help, that is to say my counsel, my knowledge is extensive, so do not hesitate to ask.
You do not need to prove your worth to me, Cassius. With each passing day, I learn about new sides of you, and you amaze me every time. What is going on here?
She's being awkward. You're too kind, Lord Captain. I apologize. I must be distracting you from important matters. With this, please permit me to leave your presence, Lord Captain.
Okay. I feel like that was one of the romance options, choices, chances that I just completely ignored.
I don't think you completely ignored it. I think you played right into her long taloned fingers.
But I was trying to just get past what he was saying. I wasn't paying attention
She
to
wanted
a single word of
compliment. She was complimented. Now she feels good. Hey, we got little things we can go look at.
Yeah, magnetic storm or the inhabited world.
Yeah. I'm gonna make it cut, because who the fuck knows how long this is gonna take.
Yeah, it's already at an hour 16. So for next time, this is what we're gonna do.